Good afternoon. Not again. Everybody, please. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Are you all right? Are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Not too tired, I guess.
No,
Okay, sit with your back to the desk. Stretch your legs if you can. Relax, but give me your attention. Okay. Today we will be concluding the part of the presentation on how to speak in public and how to make presentations to our own friends and colleagues, to the peer group. So far, we have looked at a lot of minute points like how to prepare, how to dress, how to stand, at what speed to speak. We have also paid attention to the way we should make PowerPoint slides. A lot of people clutter their slides with a lot of matter, and we saw that even when they have very good points to make, these slides do not communicate well enough. Do you agree? Say yes or no. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Right. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
I copied some of those slides to you. If anyone wants them again, please do let me know. Right. Today the last part of this module on presentations is how you can evaluate yourself. Others of course evaluate you, your teachers evaluate you when you make presentations on your project. I will evaluate you tomorrow and the day after when you make a presentation. But is there some way using which you can evaluate yourself? You can tell yourself whether you have done well or you have done not so well. Are there ways using which we can feel happy with our presentations or unhappy with our presentations? In the next half an hour to 35 minutes, I am going to talk about some principles, some ways you can use to constantly tell yourself whether you are doing as well as you would like to. Okay? Am I clear to you? Am I clear to you?
Yes,
Are
sir.
we together?
Yes, sir.
Lovely. Great. So, basically this presentation today is about you can, like any other expert player, like a good tennis player, a good cricket player knows if he did or did not do well on a particular day. You can also ask and tell yourself whether you did well. What are the principles you would look at? Okay? Lot of people feel nervous when they speak in public. Now, what are the signs of nervousness? Okay? Many, the biochemistry changes when people are tense, when they are nervous, they start sweating, their mouth goes dry, a whole lot of things happen. Some visible things also happen. For instance, many speakers who are tense have been found fidgeting with things. What is fidgeting? Keeping it there, picking it up, keeping it there, picking it up, rolling it, trying to break the bottle, or some people take their pen out, I have observed, and they keep putting it, putting out, putting in, putting out. When you are not in total control of yourself, then your hands, your body, your eye, different parts of your body don't move the way you want them to move. So, when you are making a presentation, you should constantly, human mind is a very powerful tool. I do not know if other animals have this, but our Vedas, our sciences, our psychologists tell us that human beings can have two lateral processes going on at the same time. They can speak and one part of their mind can constantly tell them whether their grammar is correct, whether their pronunciation is correct. Their mind can constantly evaluate their speech on a continuous and a lateral basis. Do you agree it can happen? Do you believe it can happen?
Yes, sir.
Give yourself a chance, train yourself to evaluate yourself. So, the same mind can tell you, the same supermind, the same mind who monitors you, who sometimes tells you when you go wrong that you are wrong. When you make a mistake, your mind tells you you are wrong, you have made a mistake, but quite often we scold the mind. We tell our mind, come on now, shut up, don't bother me, I will continue to do what I am doing. Okay? Same thing can happen here. Your mind can tell you, your critical conscious mind can tell you whether you are at ease. So, be at ease first. Check the first question therefore to ask is, please write, am I at ease? Am I relaxed? Okay. Am I as relaxed as I would be talking to a friend, talking to a person I know well enough? Okay. What if you are not relaxed? How do you know? You cannot take a thermometer and you cannot take your temperature then. At that point, you cannot do that. So, there are some signs. Are you sweating? Did your mouth go dry? Or are you fidgeting with an object? It could be anything. Some people keep doing this, or some people start grinding their hand, or some people, variety of, the word is, please write, uncontrolled physical movement. That is what fidgeting is. When you go back to your rooms today, kindly check the meaning of this word in the dictionary. Okay? How many of us will check its meaning? Raise your hands. Sure? God, you are surprising me. Honestly, I am going to ask you tomorrow if you did. Okay, so a lot of people start fidgeting with things. I wish I could show you some films. I have also found speakers, pushing their glass off like that, out of sheer nervousness. They did not know what to do, when to do. Okay, these things should not happen. Be in total control of yourself. If you are sometimes tense, then gather your breath, catch your breath, gather yourself, maybe ask for and drink some water. Okay, but start when you are in control of yourself. Some people may be trembling, their voices quiver, they shake, as if in fever or high temperature. Their voice is no longer their natural, normal self. Either they begin speaking very rapidly or extremely slowly. The gap between one part of the sentence and next part of the sentence can be pretty big. The silence can be sometimes killing. Your audience expects you to speak. You want to speak, but the words do not come out. All these things are imaginary, all these things are products of imaginary fears. Anyone who has come to hear you wants you to succeed. They are your friends. They have not come to find fault with you. Otherwise, they would not come to listen to you. So, do not have fears like, oh, people would laugh at me. Okay? Be in control of yourself, be your natural self, and then you will find that your voice is normal, your voice does not shake, you are neither too rapid nor too slow. Sometimes when people are nervous, they forget facts. I have found students here, writing their own name, and before they say I am, and then they read I am Shirish Chaudhary. They have difficulty pronouncing their own name. Not only those who stammer and stutter, in their case it is in spite of themselves. Okay? They have some difficulty of another kind. But even those who do not otherwise have, they forget facts, they forget names, they forget quotations. Rather than make New Delhi the capital of India, they make India the capital of New Delhi, putting things the wrong way around. The cap should go head up and bottom down first, they start screwing it the other way around. When you are not in control of yourself, a variety of unintended, uncontrolled things can happen. They ought not to happen, they should not happen. Sometimes people mix words. Okay. He is the headmaster of the school, rather than they say that, they will say he is the school of the headmaster. Okay. Catch yourself doing some of these things, or they mix names from people and places, rather than say I am from Vijayawada, they would say I am from Rajahmundry. They, rather than say February, they might say September. In confusion, in nervousness, as I told you, you remember the slides I showed you about mishearing. Okay? Novice is heard for office. Okay? So, even speakers make this kind of slip when they are nervous, and these slips would tell you whether you are in control of yourself or whether you are not entirely relaxed, not in total control of yourself. I am going to do a little exercise which will relax you, which will bring some smiles on your faces. Take your notebook, open, I hope everybody has your notebook before you, right. This is just a cartoon I put up. Many of us teachers also sometimes make mistakes. We do not control our blackboard, our writing very well. You might, as the cartoon shows you, it looks like, it appears as if the speaker was about to cry. His writing is not under control. What you have written on the blackboard is illegible. All of these are signs of tension and nervousness on the part of the speaker. If you are relaxed, if you are in control of yourself, your writing on the blackboard would be legible, would be symmetrical, every letter of the same size, every letter of the same size. Otherwise, it can be, you want to write London and it is written like Manchester. You want to say Nagpur, but you end up writing Bombay. One spelling, another kind of thing. That should not happen. You must be in total control of yourself. You can see from the cartoon here, like all other cartoons, I have also exaggerated it, but the point I am making is, when you are not in control of yourself, then your message does not go as intended. Do you agree? Can you repeat after me? When you are not in total control of yourself, then your message
Is
does not go
as intended.
as intended. As,
Intended.
yes, the stress is on 10, as intended.
Is
As
intended.
intended. It still goes, but it goes in several different unintended forms. Okay? Let us look at some examples. What do you think the speaker wanted to say in the first case? In the first example,
Lighting
I will give you 2 minutes. For all of these examples, please write the proper form on your notebook. Just take no longer than 120 seconds and rewrite. All of these I have taken as from examples of mixing of words. Can you rewrite them, please, quickly, in less than 2 minutes, and then I am going to speak these words aloud to me. Can you pan into any one of their camera, any one of their notebooks, please? I would like to have a record. Okay. Can you take any one of their? Now go slowly and with proper length, proper pause. What is it? Lighting a fire. Next.
You missed my history lecture.
Next. Yes, what's your name? Last, third bench. Yes, please. Yes. Right. No, 1, 2, third bench, please. What's your name?
Vimal.
Right, Vimal, go on.
Battleships and cruisers.
Battleships and cruisers. How did you get it?
Sir.
Repeat the words. I want you to get the pronunciation of these words right. Yeah, go slowly. Battleships, and
Battleships
cruisers. Yeah. Sadhu? How did you get it?
Battleships and cruisers.
And cruisers. Yes. Next. Good. Next.
Our dear old queen.
Yeah, dear will be still longer. Our dear. Make it again. Say it again.
Dear,
Our dear old queen. Come again, please.
dear old queen.
Everybody, please come together and come again. Our
Dear old queen.
Queen. You have to, before you say ka and what together, round your lips. Our dear old queen. Can you please capture their lips? Okay. Our dear old queen. No, once again. Our dear old queen. Old is not coming well. Once again. Our dear old queen. Okay, great. Next, what's it?
You wasted 2 terms.
Yes, you've wasted. Come again.
You wasted 2 terms.
Everybody please come again together.
You wasted 2 terms.
I want all lips rounded when you say waste. Come again please.
Wasted 2 terms.
2 terms. So things like this happen. Things like this when you are tense, when you are not in total, complete, control of yourself, then things of this kind can happen. Another parameter to evaluate in this case, in this studio, of course, our friends have a timer here, and I can always see how much time I have already taken and how much more I have to spend. But when you are not in a place such as this, what do you do? How do you know how much time has already gone? How much you can take more? Any smart suggestions? Any smart ideas? You have to develop a sense, just as you develop a sense of a whole lot of other things. The animal instinct in us can always tell us, how much you have slept, how much you have eaten. You do not take a weighing machine and put it on the weighing machine before you eat. You eat and you have eaten enough. So you have to develop a sense of time. But in addition to that, there are other things you can do. What can you do? Come on, tell me, give me some ideas.
Have a watch with you.
Have a watch, okay. So for example, you can take off your wristwatch and or stealthily now and then look at it, or keep it before you. What else can you do? You can have a timer, right? You can have a stopwatch, you can have a wristwatch. What else can you have?
Have your mobile vibrate after
You can have your mobile vibrate. That's not a bad idea either, though I would not say very smart. You see, that is where you have to develop. If you cultivate that speed, if you cultivate that habit, say for example, that I can take one slide in 30 seconds, or I can speak about 6 words in 1 second. Now you do not go on counting words, but if you have a note, if you have slides and you now and then look at them, then at any point of time how much time you have already taken and how much more you have at your disposal. Okay? Actually, the examples I cited here, lighting a fire, you missed my history lecture, etc., etc. Okay? These examples come from, they are not necessarily from nervous speakers. They come actually from a Christian priest. I will write his name and I will ask you if you know anything about him. He was known as Spooner. Have you heard his name? Yes, that comes from him. Spooner was a professor at a university, perhaps in Oxford. He taught history and philosophy, rather short. Go to Google, you can see his picture. He was an albino. Do you know what an albino is? Do you know who an albino is? Anybody in the class, please? Yes.
People who have unusually white skin.
Yeah, people who have unusually white skin. The pigmentation does not go well in some of the, but he had a wonderful sense of humor and he often made mistakes of this kind. But this is generic, please write. It happens with lots of people, lots of, just as you know, lots of people can stammer, stutter. So, lots of people even when they are not nervous, but if they speak rapidly can end up making mistakes of this kind. So, just as you should be able to catch yourself making mistakes of this kind, you should also be able to time yourself. Okay? Now, how would you time? Through rehearsals. Many people, not just BTech 7 professional speakers are of both the kinds. There are people who prepare, if they accept an invitation to speak from their peer group, from lesser places or bigger places, then they prepare, they ask themselves what I am going to say, how I am going to say that, they time their speech, they do some rehearsals. Even you can do that. Before you speak here tomorrow, I will like you to do some practice, some rehearsal in your room. Okay? Do you know how much time you have tomorrow? How much?
90 seconds.
Speak carefully, clearly, slowly. How much time do you have tomorrow?
90 seconds.
Yes, 90 seconds. 9 here is long, 90 seconds. Now, 90 seconds is not a lot of time. So, what would you do if your parents told you, I am going to give you only a 100 rupees for the entire month's pocket expense, then how would you spend that money? Would you spend it mindlessly or would you plan? Maybe you would not spend much money on sarang. Maybe you would during sarang you might not spend more than 10 rupees because you have only limited amount of money. I have already told you how many words can you get in 90 seconds. If you spoke about 6 words per minute, sorry per second, then how many words do you get in 90 seconds? Close to between 500 and 600 words, which is not bad, right? But you will have to plan, you must rehearse, you must get somebody to hear you in the hostel, thank them at the end, tell them to tell you if you exceeded time. Lot of people exceed time, lot of people either finish before time, they are unable to keep time. This is a huge challenge in public speaking, that you should have enough and only enough. Are you with me? Enough and only enough. If you have been invited to speak for half an hour, you should be able to complete saying all that you wanted to say and only what you wanted to say. In mathematics you might have read this condition, all and only. Am I right? Actually it comes from logic. Okay? So, you should be able to say all that you have wanted to say and only what you have wanted to say. Can I tell you a story? Okay. Have you heard of somebody called Gibbon? Just as Spooner, there was a, I am not sure, I am not very sure of his full name, first name, but perhaps his first name was John. Kindly check on the Google and tell me. Okay. Gibbon was a historian and a member of the British Parliament. Okay, a great historian. I mean, he wrote history like detective fiction. He wrote history like novels. You must, before you are 30, try and find time to read. Just as you would like to know about Newton, just as you should know about Shakespeare, you should know about other great artists or scientists. Find out about Gibbon. Gibbon wrote a wonderful book called, please take it down, and Decline and, can you complete the title? Anybody in the class? Decline and Fall?
Of the British Empire.
No, not of the but you are close to correct. Change the British.
The Roman
Of the Roman Empire. Who said that? Yes, of the Roman Empire. At one time, Roman Empire covered all of Europe and parts of Asia, all of Turkey, up to Turkey in Europe, and came to parts of Asia. They had trade with Chennai. Their coins have been found. Okay? So, vast empire. How did it decline? How did Rome become an insignificant country? It's an insignificant city. A great people come to perish when those great people lose discipline. Have no exception. There is no known exception to that. It is only discipline and self discipline that makes a nation great. And Gibbon, in more than 2000 pages, wrote the history of decline and fall of the Roman Empire. A great historian. Not many people have written better books. He was also a great public speaker. A lot of students, particularly from universities in Britain, invited him to their events to speak. So, once some students from a London college asked him to speak at their event for just about 10 minutes. And Gibbon said, how much time are you going to give me to prepare? Are you with me? Okay. How much time are you going to give me to prepare? And the student said, well, how much time do you want? Gibbon said, give me at least about 30 days. So, the students were surprised. God, why, sir? What did they say?
Why, sir?
They said, God. What did they say?
God. Why?
God. Why, sir? Both their lips coming out.
God. Why?
Don't you notice the British have such long lips, kind of thing, and they often do that. Why, sir? What did they say?
Why, sir?
A seasoned speaker such as you, why should you need 30 days to prepare for 10 minutes, to speak for 10 minutes? And Gibbon smiled and laughed, and Gibbon said, that is exactly why. If you were giving me 2 hours to speak, I am ready. I can go and talk to you. I always talk like that in the parliament. But if you give me only about 10 minutes, then I have to prepare. I must decide what is the word? Yeah. Do you pronounce it? Yes, this is not pronounced. In India we pronounce it. Of course, it is all right, In India we will do as we feel like. But when we prepare for the global English, then we do not say H. What is that letter? H. We do not pronounce it. So, we just say what. What is it? What. Okay? But if you give me only 10 minutes, then I must decide what I am going to say first and what I am going to say next, what I am going to say last, what I am going to say last. Okay? What is this word? No, the first. What is this? It is a very long vowel, It is a very long, these two things make it very long. Come again? Yes, and this is last. Again, what is it? Okay, and this is
Next.
this is quick.
Next.
This is next. What is this?
Next.
So give me all the three words again. What first?
First. What? First. Last. What? Next.
Once again, I will only move my fingers and you will pronounce those words, that word which my finger indicates. Is that all right? Are you with me? Yes, sir. Everybody. So what is this? What is this?
Next. First. What? Last.
Okay. So you know timing is important. Timing is of crucial importance. You know, when you watch, next time you go to the CLT, next time you attend the class of one of your favorite professors, watch and see how they organize different points coming in different parts of their talk. Okay. So that can be another. So if you have got about 55 seconds, prepare for about 45. Keep 10 minutes or 10 seconds for unpredictable. You know, you don't know what can happen. At the same time, be prepared to expand it. All of these things, all of these difficulties can be answered, can be met well if you prepare. But if you think, as many students do, I know tomorrow morning you have to speak and I do not want to embarrass you, but I know many of you have not even thought of the topic yet, okay? Or you have barely given the topic to Arun and to Kiran and you have told yourself, what is 1 second, 1 minute, I will stand up and speak, okay? And you will see you would run dry, you will stop before your time or you exceed time. So, you know, prepare well. What else can you have? How would you know whether your audience is with you? Okay? Can you give me some clues? How do you know that you are talking to your people, that they are not away from you, or you can know that you are not away from them. Say for example, when you do not look at them, when you look at your feet, when you look only at the blackboard and talk, but how would you know that your audience is with you? Number one, your good eye contact. Are you with them? Look at their faces, look at their eyes, talk to them, look into their eyes. Actually, the correct preposition, you know, what is this word? Yeah, it is preposition. What is it? Yeah, the correct preposition for in this case is not at, but into. Look into their eyes. Okay? Are you together? Are you with them? It's quite likely then, you know, you are doing a good job. And if they look away from you, they are not with you, your listeners are not with you, then possibly there are many other ways in which, you know, people can express lack of attention. They may be yawning or they may repeatedly look at time, oh God, just as you are doing perhaps now, you know, when the class going to end, you know. I remember one, the student magazines in this, on this campus, there used to be a magazine called Focus or Campus Times. What is it called now? The IIT Students Magazine. Yeah, the fifth estate, you know. So Campus Times once published a survey of writings on the desk. Okay, it had all kinds of things. Some of them were blue colored, some of them were red colored. Okay, but there was some witty ones as well. There were some witty writings as well, and one piece was something like the following. If you like, you can write. Okay? In the memory of those who became martyrs waiting for the bell. Okay? So, is that the case? Is that the case? You know, is that the case? You are making a martyr of your, you know, what is this word? Check the meaning. You know, every time you come across a new word, check the meaning, check the pronunciation, check. You know, it's a learning opportunity. Don't miss it. So, you know, keep an eye on your audience, and you will know whether you are doing a good job. Their eyes and attention, if their eyes and attention move as you desire, then you are doing a good job. If their eyes and attention are not with you, then surely, you know, you need to do something else. Many of us, when we teach afternoon classes, you know, many of us teachers, you know, when we teach afternoon classes, bring in more stories, more jokes compared with when we do it in the morning, when we expect you have slept for about 4 to 5 hours, when you have had something to eat, when you are not so tired. So, you will have to keep these things into mind, you know, and these things are not taught. These things come to you if you ask for them. These things are there in your mind, somewhere at the back of your mind. We call them common sense, okay? But they will come to you only if you ask for them. So, ask yourself some of these questions. Is my audience with me? And how would you know? If they yawn, if their attention is with you, if their eyes are with you, if they are not looking at time again and again. Look at some photograph. This is a classroom. Which college? Not IIT Madras? Not IIT Madras? How do you know? They were wearing, but don't you think similar things happen with us? Worse, actually, yes, yes. So, make sure that when you talk, this doesn't happen. Does it happen? Or it doesn't? Okay. I read about a survey in a Calcutta newspaper, the Telegraph. The Calcutta newspaper wrote a feature on, you know, there is this newspaper called Telegraph from Calcutta, the Telegraph, and the Telegraph published a survey on the use of mobile phones in the classroom, and it published that a lot of girls, pardon me, a lot of girls had their, you know, earpieces concealed in their hair, and the teacher could have been talking to them. They looked at the teacher, but they were listening to MP3 player, or, you know, their, you know. Why does it happen? You know, as a teacher I can say, oh God, you are not disciplined. I can write to the dean of students, dean of academic courses, and I say, please chuck them out. That is one way. The second way would be, and a better way would be, I could ask myself, can my classes be a little more interesting? Can my talk be such that this child, this boy or girl, can, rather than listen to the music, listen to me, and in between I can make a point. You might say it is impossible for me to compete with Lata Mangeshkar or Michael Jackson, but if you have that aim, then if not today, then tomorrow you might reach that goal. You might be able to do the impossible. So, the question is once again, what is your standard? What is your benchmark? Do you want to say things which are of interest only to you, or do you say them in a manner that they are relevant and interesting both to you and to your, complete the sentence please, to you and to your
Audience.
listeners, to your audience. Okay? Right. I have you know, come to the end of this. So, kindly make a note. What are the self evaluation parameters I have given you? I will summarize, okay? And I like you to bear this in your mind, okay? not that it should be written on a piece of paper before you. Number 1. What is number 1? What shall I write here? Come on, be prepared to make a mistake. None of us has learnt anything except without making mistakes, but don't make the same mistake again. What is the first question we will write? It could be anything. Am I in total control of myself? Am I relaxed? Please write. Am I relaxed? How do you know whether you are relaxed? When you, come on, please answer this question. How do you know you are relaxed?
Don't fidget with them.
You don't sweat, you don't fidget. Okay, fidgety. What is fidgety? Playing with things. Without uncontrolled movement is fidgety. Right? What else?
When your voice doesn't shake.
When your voice doesn't shake, when you don't mix words, when you remember things as you remember your topic, you remember why you are speaking, you remember where you are speaking, when you are in good control of yourself, in other words, when you are relaxed, nothing goes wrong. How do you relax? All public speakers will tell you, even experienced teachers will tell you that in the first few moments all of us feel tense as we start. How can you relax? What is a natural way? Smile, not laugh really, yes, but smile, smile, greet your audience. Come on, greet me now, please. Everybody,
Good
please
evening,
smile.
sir. Good evening, sir.
Once again, together, please.
Good evening, sir.
Once again,
Good evening, sir.
but with a smile on your faces. Just now you are saying, yeah, come again.
Sir.
So don't tomorrow, I am going to make, I have made the template and I have said greetings. Did you begin with a greeting? A lot of people, please capture me on the camera. As their names are called, they come here and start saying, I am Arun and I am going to talk about the garbage problem in Rajahmundry. Sorry, Arun, okay? Not that way. Come and catch your, stand on both your feet, distribute equal weight, not stand this way, okay? And then say, good evening. Tomorrow morning, what would you say? Good evening? Okay. In one class, some semesters ago, somebody told me, sir, you had said good evening, so I wrote good evening. I had said good evening for 5 o'clock, not for 8 in the morning or 10 in the morning. So, greeting, establishes a rapport. Check this word. What is this? Rapport. Check this, check its pronunciation and meaning as you go to the room this evening. Okay. So, greeting establishes a rapport between you and your audience. So, the question number 1 in self evaluation is, am I relaxed? What is next? Come on. Well, am I prepared well? That is before the class, but when you, as you go on, as you speak, what is it you will ask yourself?
Look into the eyes of the audience.
Okay, is the audience with me? Are my listeners with me? Okay. What is the next question? Come on, please tell me, what is the next question? Are my listeners with me? Okay. And how do you know? What are the ways? Yeah, whether they are looking at you, whether you have good eye contact, whether you have their attention, do they laugh when you want them to laugh? or you have told them the joke and then you have to tell them, please laugh now. Okay? If that is the case, then your listeners are not with you. Okay? So, do you have their eyes and their attention? What is the next question? They may be yawning, they may be sleeping, they may be messaging in the class. You might not know all of those things, you know, you might not go and look under the desk. Okay? Are you messaging? Okay? But it is quite likely if you have their attention and if you have their eyes, then it is quite likely that they are not messaging, they are not sleeping, they are with you. What else can we ask? What is the next question we can ask?
I am doing for time.
With pauses, loud enough, but long enough. Come again?
How I am doing for time.
Yeah, how am I doing for time? Time has a long vowel. What is it? Time. Come again?
Time. I am doing for
For
time.
time. Okay? Am I keeping time? The preposition here is not in time, not on time. Make a note. But the preposition here is to time. You know, everything to the given time. To time. The train is running to time. That means it is at Rajahmundry when it should be at Rajahmundry, and it is at Visakhapatnam when it ought to be at Visakhapatnam. Okay? Then you can say it is running to time. And finally, what is the last? Okay. Have I made all the points? Have I planned? You know, all these things would be possible for you if you do some, if you leave it only to the last minute. If you think you come to the podium, you stand before the camera or you stand before the audience and you would be able to complete it all, you may with luck, but you cannot be sure of yourself. A very good way is to prepare even best of speakers, even best of speakers. And if you read about presidential elections in the United States of America, they take a lot of trouble preparing before their public debates and speeches. Therefore, should you not prepare well? Should you not rehearse? What is your answer?
Yes.
Everybody please, what is your answer?
Yes.
Everyone please, what's your answer?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good evening. I look forward to hearing you tomorrow morning. Thank you. Have a good evening.